Welcome back to another week of anime summer 2025 tier list, where we rate the most recent episodes based on how much I enjoyed it. And we are reaching the end. There is about 2 weeks left for a lot of shows, right? A lot of shows have like 2 to 3 episodes left to end, and we're pretty much at the finish line. And guess what we're dropping? Kaiju 8. Kaiju 8 might be the most pathetic and saddest series in terms of how much it's fallen off compared to season 1. The sequel syndrome is unlike any other for this show, and this isn't just for me either. It's like platform wide. It is platform wide in the way that like everybody, it's tanking. Why are you telling me the music is on? This is a background music for the tier list video. Kaiju 8, it's so pathetic, and the reason for that, I don't think it's even that the anime is bad. I think the anime is pretty decent. Season 2 that I'm watching, it's not like so amazing. I think the pacing definitely is suffering recently, and there's a lot of like more boring things happening, but the initial couple episodes, they were pretty entertaining, and I think the peak of it was Shinomiya Papa's, sacrifice episode. And after that, it's just been reflecting and talking about feelings and setting stuff up and developing other supporting characters that people don't really care about. You combine that with the manga, apparently it was a disaster of an ending. Now, how much does manga readers viewership, like basically, does the manga reader audience matter in YouTube anime reactions? I would think that most people are anime onlys, even though there are a lot of manga people. I'm sure it's gonna still hurt though if the manga readers aren't enjoying it. So there's a lot of dooming happening with how the manga ended. Combine that with the lackluster pacing of season 2, and that's why it's garbage, man. It's garbage in terms of viewership. It's actually so sad. If I go look at Kaiju 8 viewership, goddamn, like it is actually pathetic. Mind you, we are a channel with almost 50,000 subscribers. It can't even break 2,000 views. What? And like, this isn't even like a bad episode either, right? The most recent one that we watched anyways was Reno basically sacrificing his body to activate the strongest kaiju mobile suit that's ever to exist. It should be a monumental moment. Super hype weapon, super hype powers with a significant character being developed along the side, but no one gives a fuck. So it kind of tells me that the interest is dead. No one cares about it on my channel. No point wasting time on it. Dropped. It's very rare that a show gets dropped this late on, but I didn't even realize how bad Kaiju was really doing. Right over here. This is pretty much the point where it all ended. After that, it's just dead. It is just dead. The beginning stuff with Narume was kind of good. Just a bit, right? But the fact that like the first episode could only get 3.7k on for me, that is like a low end of like a bad show. So it's just sad, man. Womp womp. Silent Witch did not air this week. Did anything else not air this week either? No, that's pretty much it. Okay, so Hikaru, it came back from a hiatus. This one was like a good episode. First half, like the 70% of the episode was just kind of set up and just talking about what's going on with, the mom, the single mom, and how she basically is understanding of supernatural stuff and explaining more lore of the place. Then the last like 5 minutes was really tense with the grandpa stuff and the hamster guy pulling up and cutting Hikaru's head. That scene alone was kind of shocking, but it's not enough for me to place it anywhere above good. It's just good. Mikado no Sisters, I would say that this was also a decent episode. Nothing too crazy. Miwa's arc starting, and there's like a new character being introduced who is like Miwa's #1 fan, rival, and how Yu is accidentally rizzing her up. Not really. There was some cliche romance moments. It was fun. Just kind of chill setup. We'll see where it's going afterwards. Dress Up Darling? It was a good episode. It was just like the misunderstanding with Gojo and Marin. That was kind of funny. The game that they're playing, the nun game, oh my god, like what the fuck, that got actually so creepy and weird and morbid. Like I thought we were watching a slice of life rom-com, not like psychological thriller, depression, like gore. Like what the fuck. It was another kind of just chill episode though, right? A lot of these are kind of just like chilling and just about to ready to pop off, setting stuff up. Water Magician, mid. What is happening, bro? Water Magician's fall off is crazy. So, it all started during the Great Tidal Bore episode. I think that the beginning was very strong. If I could draw a graph of Water Magician, this is how I see it happening. So basically, if we have a graph of like how, you know, like how good it is here, right? Like, I don't know, enjoyment or like quality. Quality versus like as the episode goes on. In the beginning, I think it was really high. Like these first like couple episodes, they were genuinely amazing. Like the open world game immersion that I got watching the first 2 episodes was sick. Even though we weren't fighting notable monsters by any means, the direction of the fight and the choreography, it was just stunning. It felt like Frieren. Then, you know, it starts to fall off a little bit as we get into the city and do nothing for a bit. Right? Just a bit. And then I think that this is like basically Leonora episode. The Leonora episode with the Akuma stuff I think was the peak. And after that, it's just been like, what are we fucking doing right now, bro? Thank you, Oompmeister, for the gifted sub. Appreciate it, man. It's just like they catfished us so hard. They front-loaded all of the quality stuff, and now we're left with a very like mediocre fucking anime. The animation is still better than most like these isekai fantasy shows that we watch, but because the standard of expectation is like here, it's so hard when you have something like this. For example, like if you look at My Nogra from the beginning, we didn't really give a fuck about quality of it because we knew that there was no quality. We're just watching it for the story and the direction is carrying with the story adaptation. That's why I'm not really critical of it. But when you show me that like you can do something like this, and now we're not getting that anymore and we're just like over here, lackluster fights, very uninspiring lore. The world building was kind of interesting with like the 7 gods and the light, and you know, the what's it called, the goddess of light or whatever, and how everyone worships that, and the lack of incantations for other magic. And now we're also getting introduced to the Inferno Magician and how a different empire is about to pull up to the festival. I hope that it goes like this, right? I hope that it bounces that. We have like 2 episodes left, right? I hope that we bounce back up here because I think that we're gonna get Rio versus the Inferno Magician, and that should be pretty hype. So that's kind of where we're at. But man, this phase, like, goddamn, like this phase here has been really, really fucking lackluster. And it's sad. It's really sad to see such a high promised, you know, potential anime to just fall off like that. The main character is very annoying. He's not low-key annoying. He is high-key annoying. I hate Rio. He's so fucking like condescending and patronizing and takes nothing seriously because of how powerful he is. But that attitude, like there are limits of it, and it is just like genuine. It's just annoying. It's not the zesty part. Like I'm perfectly fine with zesty like character. It's just how the way that he's presented and how he treats other characters, it's really fucking annoying. In terms of viewership though, I think that it's pretty decent, which is still fascinating that even though this anime has fallen off significantly, and again, it peaked over here. Episode 4, right? It peaked here, and everything after that has just been really, really falling off. Interesting that even like a very boring... No, here it is. This is more like it. 1.9k, yeah, this shit's dead. I was like, hold up, what the fuck? The most recent episode got like 5k almost? Nah. But again, we got like 3 episodes left. I hope that the last 3 episodes will finish hard and we can get back to the former glory of Water Magician. BBL Shota, it was peak. Peak not because of the fights were peak, but peak because the comedy was peak. For no reason at all, they decided to just give us the most nonsensical comedy episode of an immortal pig who exists to get fed, but because he tastes bad, he curses humanity and kills them. But Babylon accepts him for who he is, and we make tonkatsu. We literally made fried pork cut loins, and we fed him his food, and It was just so bizarre. It was genuinely just like, what the fuck am I watching? But the comedy was on point. That plus Silpha Anastasia stuff. The episode title was called like Pork Cutlets and what's it called? Moonlight, right? And I love how the initial half was about the comedy stuff with the pork stuff, and then the second half, or more like the last third, was Anastasia and Silpha and how she, you know, basically got saved by Gitan and how she worships him, and how Silpha, you know, kind of deals with that, and the fight was hype, and there was a lot of emotional tones actually kind of meeting too. It was just a solid episode, man. It was genuinely a solid episode. Really enjoyed it. Just because of the bizarreness of the Giga Pig, we're gonna put it in peak. Next up, Fragrant Flower episode was the boys going to play bowling, hanging out with Waguri and Subaru for a bit, a little group study session, and a lot of scenes from, what's it called? What's his name? Yorita, right? He's getting a lot of watch time too. It's probably a great episode. The developments in the characters and their interactions, and it's all so good. It was pretty much like a setup episode too, right? But I mean, what really is a setup episode in a romance anime? I feel like this is like a standalone episode to develop more of like the interactions between the friendship and the group, and to get us more closer to Waguri and Subaru too, and as well as set up for like Waguri's birthday, right? So we're coming to an end with the season. I wonder what the last couple episodes will be. I expect it to be some sort of birthday party for Waguri and for happy wholesome vibes to happen. Great episode. Grand Blue. Let's think. The red girl, the pink girl is becoming more based, and Iori is able to teach her. You know what? I actually like that a lot too. It might be either here or here. Like this episode was developing more of Busujima and like how flawed she is and how she just treats everything as like a one-time hookup and is very superficial about it. But then like Iori is able to like show her that like there's more to life than just that, and how she also is learning from him. And there's like a really, I'm gonna put it here, I think it was actually a great episode. Busujima and Iori scenes, especially when she like made him turn his back around and she leaned on his back. That was like a nice little cliche stuff. The stuff with the femboy too was just a little funny comedy. Great episode. Arknight concludes and it is finally over. I would probably put this in great. It was a very hype episode. The animation is Sakuga out of my mind. The pacing is fucking all over the place though, right? Because again, they're trying to cram in so much shit. I really appreciate how this is 3 years or so in the making, maybe even 4 years, right? Of Arknights, Season 1, Season 2, all leading up into this climax Season 3. And now the first saga is over. It's a monumental moment, happy ending. Talala is saved because the Duke was possessing her, and now we can say, Your Honor, it's not her fault, she just schizo. Genuinely a fun time to watch, but I get how this show would definitely filter out a lot of people. But again, thank you Arknight Hive Mind for checking my channel out again. And when Season 4 happens, in a couple of years, I think that Yostar would go the distance. Maybe this is the point where they kind of stop with the Arknight's content, but I don't know. I just feel like, based on what I've seen, I could totally see them preparing for the brand new saga. Give it a couple years and we'll be probably back with this. Krivates episode. Drell backstory. It was overall good. Yeah, it was overall good. I just really don't like that 144p like filter to show that this is a backstory flashbang. I don't think you need to do that, bro. Some people like die just defending that shit, which is so funny to me. It was pretty chill. I mean, it wasn't chill. It was just pretty, I don't know. There's no crazy moment. It's just Drell, why he's called the Dragon Slayer, backstory with Alicia's dad, more hints and clues about how he's possessed by the Dragon Dark Lord. The craziest part might have been Luna's dad about to throw, like Luna's dad is supposed to be, sorry, Luna's grandpa is supposed to be dead. The king is supposed to be dead. The king is back as a Dullahan. And bro is about to throw his grandson into the fire. Like, what the fuck? There's a lot of crazy mysteries happening right now that's keeping me kind of engaged. But Krivates, man, so many people. It's so sad that, again, a lot of people kind of just expected Krivates hype, but they got some side characters that was not as enticing to them. And that's why it's one of the least performing shows. At least it's still better than Kaiju 8. It's not doing so bad I'm going to drop it. The core audience is kind of there on Patreon too, so it's still fun. It's just overall good episode. Call of the Night, I would say it's in peak. Probably better than BBL Shota, yeah. The quality of this episode, and this is also like a climax moment. Anko versus Nazuna. The fight scene was fucking trippy. The blurry lights, oh my god. The director there just has so much fun with the usage of his night lights. It's crazy to me how Anko like survived that fight. This is not a regular human. And we also got to understand more about her character and her overall goals of why is she doing this? Why is she instigating, fully aware that she can't really beat a vampire? Because she wants them to kill her in order for her to become a martyr so that the night will end. Which is, ooh, the night's gonna end. Yamori gets shot at the end. What a crazy cliffhanger. We're not done yet, bro. The roller coaster is still going. Overall, peak episode. Amazing anime. Definitely one of the most, if I were to say, what is the most underrated anime of this season? It's probably Call of the Night. I don't think there is any other show that has this level of quality, but has not much attention happening for it. And I've explained in multiple videos of why that is the case. It has to do with a combination of pacing issues in second season, pacing issues from season 1, 2, and its inability to hook in the audience. The type of show this is right now is completely different from what it was in season 1, and a lot of people are missing out. Krivates, I think, is also very underrated too, but I think Call of the Night is in a different league of anime direction and just quality, and this should be praised a lot more. Arknight's pretty underrated. I don't know. I think that Arknight is a very niche anime that specifically caters towards the mobile gacha crowd that plays Arknights. I don't think that the anime itself is actually that great either, because again, it's so incoherent in storytelling due to the lack of structuring and pacing. You need to have like that gacha game lore to actually fully understand it. For like an average person to watch Arknights, they would see the visual spectacles, but they would also not understand anything, and the pacing is all over the place, so it's really hard to say that it's like a great anime. Let's see. This Ajisai episode. Ajisai, because it's Ajisai, I'll put it here. Just because it's Ajisai, I'll probably put it here. Fucking Renako. No, Renako was actually pretty good last episode in the way that she was treating Ajisai. There was a lot of fun moments too. They had a little getaway. And she's such a pure soul, bro. She is the best character of the show. Satsuki and Mai can eat my ass. Renako doesn't deserve anything. Kaho is Aizen, and Ajisai is the sweetest angel to ever exist. Dandadan, Kinta, peak. Very fun. Extremely fun episode, bro. A lot of people are kind of complaining about how first half pretty much is like a recap of season 1. Because it is, in a sense of, we're replaying the scene where Momo and, Okaran quote-unquote kiss, but Kinta was there behind the scenes, and we get to see through his perspective and what he wants. What does he want? He wants to be able to get bitches. He sees that Okarun is somebody that shouldn't be able to get, girls. He shouldn't be popular by any means, yet he's got Momo. And Kinta's like, bro, how do you do this? And then he's like, oh, I gotta stalk dirty. 10-gallon penis. What the fuck? He's a fun guy. He's a very stylish person. I think that he's gonna have a very tearjerker backstory. I just feel like the way that this show is going, Kinta, there must be a reason of why he's like that. He's probably like a social outcast. He probably has some traumatic events from past, and he's become a shut-in. And that's why he has these insecurities and stuff. Who knows? Maybe there's nothing like that, but seeing Dandadan and how it's developed the other characters through their flashbacks, like, I'm expecting a fucking tearjerker for Kinta, man, even though we're starting right now in a relative comical way. And we're about to fight a kaiju. This is gonna do, it's basically Godzilla, right? You can see it right over here too. We got a Godzilla monster versus the mecha dude, so Kinta's gonna have mecha, you know, powers. It's gonna be hype. Gachakuda, I would say, was just a good episode. It's definitely suffering from pacing issues, I think. Recently, I've been thinking about how Gachakuda is a very enjoyable anime, yet it's not making motions. Because why? I feel like this show has so much potential, yet it hasn't had that one significant episode that everyone talks about. I feel like Battle Shonen, old Battle Shonen start off really slow, right? It takes a while for it to pick up, and that's due to the overall pacing and structure of old-fashioned animes, right? Gachakuda in the beginning had a very interesting and mysterious premise of the world building and the setting. And after that, I don't know, the Jabber stuff was pretty fun, but at the same time, like, we are missing that special factor that a lot of these other mainstream Battle Shonens has that appeals to so many people, right? And I don't know if it's too late. Maybe there's gonna be something like that before we conclude season 1. But so far, it's not able to just penetrate into the mainstream niche. And it's unfortunate. But, I mean, hey, it is what it is. I think that it's still a solid anime. I'm enjoying it for what it is. And I thought it was a good episode of world building as we go to a different city. Talk about Gob and how he passed away and Remlin has to inherit his will, and there was a lot of cool, you know, fireworks scenes with the spray paint stuff. But even though I can acknowledge that, like, I can appreciate what they're doing with these characters and they're setting stuff up, many people of this, I think, niche just simply don't really give a fuck about these kinds of episodes. Minogra, great episode, so fun. Minogra was genuinely so fun with... There's a lot of twists happening too, right? That, like, oh my god, there's another video game coming in together. And it's so unfair that because the new video game is like RPG stuff, that, you know, our 4X, you know, strategy game just dominates them. It's so unfair. Ice Stone guy, the Ice Rock guy, he was a Giga Chat. I love this voice acting and how he was so locked into the minion of Demon Lord roleplay. Genuinely, it's so fun. Atto popped off. There was a lot of comical moments too. Overall, a great episode. Very fun to watch. To Be Hero X, I think goes in peak, bro. I think To Be Hero X was so fucking good. This gave me shades of the early part of To Be Hero X. The early part of To Be Hero X, when I watched the Nice arc, when I watched the E-Soul arc, there was that special factor in there when I watched these standalone episodes for me to give a fuck about these characters, for me to get emotionally engaged. Ahu, Shinya arc, it was that. In one single episode, it reminded me of the same type of storytelling. So then, why does that storytelling not exist in the middle part? You know? Like, what's up with that? Again, if we go back to this example, like, what happened? In the beginning, I feel like it started off so fucking strong with the Nice arc. And then obviously it's gonna drop a little bit with the E-Soul stuff because it's context changing, and it has a really hype part too. And then it just kind of like did that for the longest time, you know? And now we're kind of going back. We're kind of in this upward trajectory momentum right now, ever since the X is just carrying, right? Basically, this is the part, like, from this is like Lucky Cyan arc. This is like the end of, like, this is nice E-Soul, Lucky Cyan arc, and then all the stuff in between. That's all setting its different characters up in order for it to pay off here, right? This is the point where, you know, people were like, holy shit, To Be Hero peak again. But I don't agree that it's because it's set up, it's bad. It's such a bad excuse to say these episodes are not interesting because they're setup episodes. Dude, the Shinya Ahu episode was setup episode too. Setup episodes can be very fun. It's just that it was a very ambitious thing trying to include so many other characters in here, right? Like Little Johnny, fucking Deathblade, Lucky Cyan, Lolly, and some other characters I'm missing. And Queen had a couple episodes in there too. It was just very like dead for a while, but it's really nice to see that like we're back on this triumphant return. People are still watching and checking out the reactions, which is cool to see. And thank God that like this is not a dead show, because I feel like director Howland can absolutely cook with his storytelling, and this is just the beginning of To Be Hero X as well, as we go into season 2 content in the future. So I'm glad that like people are still watching. Next up, Sakamoto Days was an episode of Mutual Fans was the episode title. It was the new girl, you know, the biggest fan, kind of like fighting with Shin and getting to know each other, and we got to see Gaku basically you know, phase in through his goggles and fuck up all the instructors too. It was overall good or great episode. I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna put it here. Yeah, no, I have a lot of fun watching Sakamoto Days. It's genuinely so fucking fun. I'll probably put Mikadori up here. Let's see. Maybe like this. Yeah. It was a very fun episode. Anything crazy happened in this one? Not really in terms of plot. It's just that like Slur and his boys are in on it right now. We got to see the Kaji guy was really funny. Kaji guy was so funny with how like he was, what's it called? He basically is socially like anxious. He's very introverted. I thought that he might be an evil person that like Slur sent in. No, he's just an introvert. And finding Lord of the Mysteries, easily in peak. It is the penultimate episode as we get ready for the Doomsday. The baby is fucking everything up and Megos went berserk. Leonard was a Giga Chad, keeping, you know, her at bay. The Shadow is actually talking to Leonard too now. Finally, we can hear the voice of the secrets that he's hiding. And oh man, the coincidences as well. The coincidences are just now so blatant. Even Klein says it like, isn't this a little bit too direct? It's as if whoever is the puppet master is trying to make us come into play. There's a lot of misdirections with Dunn as well, as we got to understand why he ate Kenley's heart. And that's pretty much it. We got one more episode and it should be done. Now let's recalibrate. Let us recalibrate. Now, this is the part where I'm gonna be very, very harsh with the ratings and maybe promote some shows up too. If I wanted to be extremely harsh about this, I would probably put this in mid as well. I probably would. You know what? If I really wanted to be really, really mean, I put these down here. I would probably put these down here. I would probably put no, that's, I think that these were great episodes. Maybe Sakamoto Days isn't that high up. Maybe Grand Blue also isn't. If it wasn't for the meme factor, would BBL Shota actually be up here? And if I wanted to promote some shows up, to be honest, I really enjoyed Ahu Shinya episode. This is so good. I think that Call the Night actually was really on that next level caliber too, with how much that was popping off. I think Lord of the Mysteries is fine at peak. Dandadan was also not too crazy. It's just Kinta kind of popping off. Anything else that I might want to drop down? Maybe Arknight would be like good instead. If I wanted to be really mean, I think this would be the final rating, but that's pretty much it. Check out next week for some of the finale stuff, and in a couple of weeks or two, we're going to be doing basically by the end, we'll be able to rate the entire season, right? Summer 2025 tier list, so look out for that. See you next time.